Hello people, I wanted to show a little neat thing that you can use in Roll20. It should be usable for everyone, also in the free version, and I'm using D&D 5th edition here as an example, but the core mechanics should be applicable to every system. So basically it's a way of making macros that relate themselves to other macros. And using this, you can do things like, for instance, I have a saves macro down here. And if I click it, a button or a series of buttons appears. And each of these buttons relates itself to another macro that runs a strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throw for whichever character that I have selected. So if I click my warlock here, I have a warlock and his owl familiar. If I click my warlock and I click wisdom, it rolls a wisdom saving throw for this warlock. So you see the roll here with a wisdom save and the name of the character, the modifier, and the results. And of course, it rolls twice, so that if you have neither advantage or disadvantage, you can just take the first one. Otherwise, you can take the better or worse of the two. But this works for my owl familiar as well, with the same button. So if I click my wisdom here, it rolls for my owl familiar. Shows its name and its modifiers and its results. And I've made a separate macro for abilities, if I need to make a strength check or an intelligence check or something, and even skills as well. And all these skills work for everything that you can select. So I can click my warlock and click persuasion. I can click my owl familiar and click persuasion, or the perception of my owl familiar, and really just about anything. It's just a matter of knowing how to create a button that executes a macro for you when you click it. I have made all these macros in a document that I will link in the video description. I can't, unfortunately, paste the macros themselves directly in the video description, because some of them contain HTML, and that won't work inside the YouTube video description, unfortunately. But if you open that link, it should look like this, and this is one macro, this is another macro, and as you can see, there's a lot of macros, and they're all needed for all of these to work. But it's just a matter of copy pasting, and I'll show you how. You just double click here, or triple click to mark it all, and just copy that, and go into your collection, and add a macro, paste it, and copy the name. It's important that the name is the same, because as you can see, this is how to make a button here. In these square brackets is what the button name says, and this is what macro it should get. So this ability strength is the macro that it's getting. So it's important that the name is the same. So you just save this, and that's one macro, and you just do that for all of them. Keep in mind, though, that you're going to want to have these first three that set up your skills, abilities, and saves. So that's these: saves, skills, and abilities. Here, you're going to want to set them in a way so it whispers to yourself. You don't want to clog the chat up for everyone else. Here's what. So you just type, /whisper and then your name before everything else. Oops. The others, of course, just stay like it is. Now, the ability saving throws, or no, not the saving throws, the ability checks are fine, but the saves and skills, they use a special special attribute, a special variable called NPCD. In this case, for an intelligence save, int save, or NPCD strength save. And for a skill, it's NPCD, in this case, acrobatics. Now, you just copy and paste these, but you need to be sure that your characters actually have these defined. It takes not too long work, but it's a little bit of footwork. Player characters, like my warlock here, if I open the character sheet, it has it defined. You can see here this is the NPCD intelligence, and here's the strength save. And if we go further down, you can see the different skills here, like NPCD animal handling. For player characters, you'll have to define these manually, but it really doesn't take long when you know what it is. And then you have a button that works for everything. If you're a DM and you're only working with non-player characters, it's even easier. Let's make a new NPC here. Let's make a hawk here. This is a hawk. And let's make a corresponding character. And let's use this token. Let's call it hawk. Save changes. If we go to the character sheet and click the cogwheel, make it an NPC. There we go. Let's find the hawk in the SRD. Just type hawk, and I drag the hawk here. It fills out many things for me. If I just click the cogwheel, it fills out the strength and the movement speed and everything. And because the hawk has additional perception, it defines the perception for me here. So if I go to the attributes and abilities, somewhere I should be able to see the NPC perception attribute. But you can see there's not a lot. There's not a lot of attributes for it here. So you actually need to because if you were to roll it now, if I just I also need to make sure that this is accepted as it represents a hawk, this character. So if I were to use it now, if I were to click saves and then try to make a dexterity saving throw for it, it doesn't work because the hawk here, it doesn't have a dexterity saving throw. I know it says 0, but this gray 0 just means it's undefined. So and it doesn't take long. You just have to go, well, that's a modifier of 3, and if it had any special saves in the monster manual, it would be translated here as the perception, for instance, says it has a special bonus to perception. It only has a modifier of 2, but in the monster manual it says it has an additional +2. So that is integrated, but for some reason they decided not to include the all the other skills here, all the strengths. The modifiers here, the saves. So let's see, that looks like a -4. That looks like a -1. And that looks like what is that? Is that a -3? Let's see, 9 and 8 and 7 and 6. Yeah, it's a -3. And that is that's a -2 only. So let's just quickly fill this out. Acrobatics, sleight of hand, and stealth are 3. Animal handling is a wisdom, so that's actually a 2, along with investigation and medicine and survival. Athletics should be a -3. Deception is a -2, as well as performance and persuasion, intimidation, and the rest hopefully should be a -4 because of intelligence or history and insight. No, not insight, sorry, that's of course 2 for wisdom and nature and religion here. Now everything is defined, and if we go back into the attributes here, you can see there's way more skills now. Now we actually have our wisdom, and we have our charisma save and everything. And I can show you now that it works. If I were to select my, let's just clear the chat log here. If I click saves, and I select my hawk, and I go a dex saving throw, it rolls it for me. And if I were to click my initiative button, it automatically, says initiative and who it was, what the modifier was, what the result was, and adds it to the turn order. And it's the same with my Warlock and my Owl Familiar. And I can even roll my +4 to Perception for the Hawk. And this works for everything that you can select. Everything that you can select. So it's a really useful tool for players with a lot of characters or GMs who, by default have a lot of characters. And you can use this functionality of making buttons to many things. I, for instance, have made a spellbook for this Warlock. So if I click spellbook, I simply, have all the different spells at his disposal. If I click, for instance, fly, it posts in chat for everyone to see the things that fly can do. If I were to click, say, something with a modern attack roll, like Eldritch Blast, it rolls my Eldritch Blast, and if I click it, it rolls the damage as well. So I have a lot of easy-to-click buttons that works for everything that I can select: skills, saving throws, abilities, initiative, everything. It's super useful, and it works for everyone. So I hope you could use it. I used to use drop-down menus for skills and stuff, but I like this a lot more. So thanks for watching. I try to keep this concise because, I think sometimes that manuals or tutorials can get a little bit long, and it's kind of hard to understand it all if you just have to scroll through videos and stuff. But basically, it's just a matter of copying and pasting what you see in this document into the macros section and making sure that the variables that it asks for are defined in the character sheet. And then it should work. So, good luck.